so will I. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Typically, we don't converse. Those of us that are putting hymns together, those of us that are putting worship together, and myself, in the responsive readings, we don't converse about what we're doing. We lay it in God's hands and we let Him pick what we're doing. And I love how it all comes together. I love how He mixes it all together and makes it come out as one. For those of you that are Pirates of the Caribbean fans, I'm one of them. I love the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. You might recognize this phrase: part of the ship, part of the crew. Part of the ship, part of the crew. And for those of you that don't know the movie and don't recognize the quote, it's a quote. Will Turner, one of the main characters in the story, is trying to release his father from service from Davy Jones, and I am having trouble this morning. The Flying Dutchman. I keep wanting to say the Davy Jones. It's the Flying Dutchman. But Will Turner's trying to release his father, trying to get him out of service, trying to save him. And he finds out in order to save him, he needs to stab the heart of Davy Jones. He needs to kill him. But he can't just kill him, he has to stab him through the heart. And he thinks, okay, that's a rather simple task as long as I get close to Davy Jones. But he later finds out that in order to stab the heart, when he stabs the heart is part of the ship. The captain's heart is part of the ship. And that heart drives the crew. So, part of the ship, part of the crew, really means heart of the ship, heart of the crew. Because the crew was just as twisted and evil as Davy Jones was. They followed his lead. They loved what they did. They loved the sin that they were in. They did exactly as he said, as a team. They worked together to take over anyone who was divided, anyone who was afraid of death, anyone who just wanted out. So heart of the ship, heart of the crew. Will is now stuck. How do I kill Davy Jones, take the heart, and leave the rest of the crew to die? Because the crew would die with the ship, including his father. But they were one ship. One ship that everybody feared. One crew. Why did they fear them? Why was it an issue? Because they were a team. They were united in one aspect. Control. They wanted to control it all. They wanted to be in charge of it all. Davy Jones was the head of the ship. He was in control of everything. And they followed him. They had one mind, one body. Look at our society today. We have small factions, small groups that are dictating everything that we do. A small group with a huge voice because they're organized, because they're together, they're working as one team, one thought process. And those, many of us that disagree with what they're doing and what they're saying are so divided that we can't fight back. We can't stand up against them. So laws are changing, society is changing, all because of these viewpoints that we don't agree with. But we look at us and say, well, we're just a small group. So are they. They just know how to organize. They know how to communicate. They've become a team. All through Scripture. All through Scripture. Teamwork is part of everything that God says. We are supposed to be one body. One body working together. One team. coming together to work as one. Sorry about that. It used to be, years ago, people would look at us, those that follow Christ, those that believe, for guidance. When they were in need, they would come to fellow Christians and say, I don't know what to do. Now they look at us and they look down upon us because society has flipped upside down. And we are the enemy. Because we don't have the same viewpoints, we are the enemy. And that's not just outside. That's in these walls. That's in the walls of every church. There is disconnect and disarray. That's the word I'm looking for. Thank you. There are people working inside because they are not in the same heart as the captain. As I said, all through Scripture, it's mentioned that we should be working as a team. Psalms 133, verse 1, it is good and pleasant when God's people live together in peace. It is good and pleasant when we live together in peace, when we live together as one, as a team. Paul writes in 1 Corinthians 3, verses 5 through 8, after all, who is Apollos? Who is Paul? We are only God's servants, through whom you believed in the good news. Each of us did the work of the Lord gave us. I planted the seeds in your hearts, and Apollos watered it. But it was God who made it grow. It's not important who does the planting or who does the watering. What's important is that God makes the seeds grow. The one who plants and the one who waters work together. They work together as a team. But inside the church, inside the body, there are so many people fighting over who's the captain, over who's in charge, whose ideas are better. It doesn't work. Over the years, the churches have split. Churches have split, denominations were formed, and it kept on going because there was an illness within the church of that who's better. Jesus dealt with it with the apostles, with the disciples. Lord, who's better? Who's better? None of you are better. You're all the same. You're all equal. But for some reason, that mindset came back into the church. And then they had to split. Well, now, this group is better than this group because we believe this, or this group is better than that group because we believe that. I have better ideas than that person over there, so we're closer to God. No. It doesn't work that way. I love this one. When I do a wedding, you'll hear this one very often. Ecclesiastes 4, verses 9 through 12. Two people are better off than one, for they can help each other succeed. If one person falls, the other can reach out and help. But someone who falls alone is in real trouble. Likewise, two people laying close together can keep each other warm. But how can one be warm alone? A person standing alone can be attacked and defeated. But two can stand back to back and conquer. Three are even better, for a triple-braided cord is not easily broken. Again, teamwork. Working together. And there are many more scriptures throughout the Bible that speak on teamwork. But it talks about working together, living together, being of one body. Jesus brought the disciples together and He taught them to live as one. They became a team. A small team conquered. Sorry, getting ahead of myself. A small team compared to the religious leaders of the time. You have 12 people, and you've got all the Pharisees and and the Sadducees saying, no, you can't do that. No, you're not allowed. The same people that had Jesus crucified are saying to the disciples, no, you can't do that. But the difference was, they were unified. They were together, working as one. So when the Pharisees said, no, you're going to go to jail, okay, we're going to preach in jail too. Okay, you're going to crucify us. The same thing that Jesus did, we'll do from the cross. We are not afraid to speak the truth because we are one with Him. They were a small team, but they were formidable because they worked together as one. And soon, that small team became an overwhelming team, working together, growing together. But as that happened, that illness grew. Like a cancer, it grew within the body. And instead of dealing with it, instead of working to deal with it, they just cut that limb off. And they separated. And then when it grew up again, they cut another limb off, and it separated again. And they started to grow again. But each limb that they cut off grew on their own. And now we have all these different religious beliefs that are very similar, except for maybe a belief here and a belief there, or an understanding here and an understanding there. They're all saying, well, we're better, we're closer, we're here, we're there. I have better ideas than this one over here. Paul writes that we are all part of one body. Each part has its own purpose. But we all want to be the head. We all want to be the heart. Jesus Christ is our head. He is our heart. He is the captain. We are the crew. Not one of us is the captain of the ship. I don't care what church you go to, what building you worship at, not one of us is a captain. I am not the captain of this church. If you want to put a title on it, I may be the first mate. I'm the one that is standing here giving orders of what Christ has said, what He has done. I'm the one sharing that. It is my responsibility to teach and guide and make sure that the ship is going in the right direction. But those orders are not mine. I am part of the crew. Just like you. Just as part of the crew, I look for my orders through Christ. Part of the ship. Part of the crew. My heart beats with Christ. I follow that lead. I'm not going to say that I'm not prone to go, I like this idea, I want to go this direction, I like that. But I still have, and if I try to go without going to God, and Jesus saying, man, is this the way you want me to go? Is this what you want me to do? If I do that without their approval, it usually crashes and burns. Or sometimes they'll give me enough rope to hang myself. And say, go ahead and try it. You didn't consult me. See how that works out for you. Oh, look, it's going. Oh, look. There's the end of your rope. Did you learn anything? In the time of the pirates, it was called keel hauling. Toss me over the top. You don't want to listen to what I have to say? Here, go for a ride. Let's slide the bottom of the ship. I've been there. I've done that. I don't like it. My heart is to beat with His. The ship is supposed to turn with Him. The crew is supposed to listen to what He has to say. So often, we have 6, 7 churches just in our community. Just in this small little community, I think we got 6 or 7 within a 4-block radius. You want to know how many of those are actually working together? And actually trying to work together? 2. Go out another 4 blocks, we got another one. part of his crew. How many of us are trying to be captains? And I'm not saying I'm better or they're better. I'm saying that we need to be working together. Because he left the 99 to find the one. We keep cutting the one off. You don't believe the same way we do. You don't agree with what we're saying. Bye. And everybody's that's being told by, okay, we'll run on our own. We'll do our own thing. And it's almost identical except for one little thing. And I guarantee you go and visit 20 different churches, 99% of everything that is the tradition of that church is identical. The wording might be a little different. The practice might be a little bit different, but they're almost identical. But we can't associate with them because we cut them off years ago. Wrong. They are also part of the ship. They are also part of the crew. You've heard me say this before. Jesus wanted a bride. He didn't want a schizophrenic bride. He didn't want a bride with multiple personality disorder. One church, one body, one crew, one team. Working together. That's what he wants. Within our part of the body, we might be the big toe. That might be our job. Is to give a little bit of balance. Maybe it's a pinky toe too. But that might be our job, is to give a little bit of balance to everything. We're not the head. Maybe we're the ring finger. Who knows? We could be the torso. We could be a leg. But it's wherever God wants us. That's where we're at. We can't change that. We can't move that unless He tells us to. I can have all the ideas in the world. And unless they're His ideas, or His approval is put upon those ideas, I've got nothing. We've got nothing. So I want you to take a moment. Look at yourself. Over the past however many years of your life, to this point, have you been a captain? Or have you tried to be a captain in your life? Or are you a member of the crew? Think about that. Is your personality one that wants to rule everything, be the boss, be the king, be the captain of the ship? Or have you been part of the crew? Because if you're part of the crew, you're part of the ship, which is guided by Christ. You're in the same boat as the rest of us, and you're going in the same direction. But if you find yourself continually going against everyone, continually fighting the crew, you need to check where your heart's at. And you may be right. Are you listening to what God is saying? Are you letting Him guide you? Or do you want what you want? Do you want your own personal desires, your own selfish needs to supersede God's? If you claim Christ as your Lord and Savior, you've claimed that you want to be part of His crew, part of His ship. But too many times we have too many people trying to be captive. Think about that a little bit. Are you ready to be part of the team? Be part of the crew? Think about which team and crew you want to be on. Do you want to be on the team that fights with Davy Jones, society, and Satan? Is that the crew that you want to be on? Because that crew got to do just about whatever they wanted to. Or do you want to be on the crew and the team that stood up to them? Because there was one flagship and about 40 other ships standing beside, ready to do what they were told by the flagship. They all became one. They all flew under one banner, one flag, one color. So where do you sit today? Are you with the world? Or are you on the ship that's going against the world, leading them back home? The ship captained by Christ. Let's pray. Lord, we come to you this morning. We just ask that you speak into our lives. We ask that you just pour over us. Father, as we've lived our lives usually for our own wants and desires, Lord, I ask that we look to you for what we want. We look to you for what we need. And that we listen when you tell us where to move and how to move. That we stand up for what we know to be truth and to be right. That we reach out and grab a hold of our brothers and sisters that have been disconnected from the body. That we pull them back in and we surgically replace them. That we bring them back together. Lord, give us the opportunity to do that. Call us together. Let us work together. Let us become one body again. Over the years, Satan has done a great job at separating us. That is, he's cut the limbs off with the illness that has been planted within us. Lord, I ask that you give us the strength to fight past that illness, to look to you for guidance and steer the ship back together. And I'm not asking that just for us here. I'm asking that across the board, Lord, for all of us to be able to look to each other and say, that's my brother, that's my sister, and I want to be with them. And I want to be with you. Let us all become one team together, Lord. I ask this in the name of Christ, because He's the one that started it all. Let our heart be His heart. Let His heart lead us. Let us be part of your crew. Father, I ask this in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.